Are you getting all the uniforms?
Where's pause? Start and stop was pause.
We'll make a start. Family, friends and honoured guests, I would like to welcome you here today on this historic occasion to honour the memory of my dear Uncle Michael Kieran Holmes. Rest in peace, killed in action on the 27th of October 1918 at Sedan in France. I would especially like to welcome Master Sergeant Ron Hocko of the American Armed Forces, now retired and living in Ireland in County Mayo, who will do the honours here today, and he will be assisted by Senior Master Sergeant Michael Noon, NSFA, as well. And I would also like to welcome other members of the Legion here today to do the honours. And a special word of thanks must go to Pat Gorman in the United States for his great work researching my uncle's files in the National Archive. A big word of thanks to my cousin Peggy Murray from Cork, who instigated our lovely ceremony here today and our Trojan work in researching and making contact with the relevant departments in the United States. I would like to welcome her son, Sergeant Kevin Murray, on leave from serving with the EU forces in Uganda. And a word of thanks must go also to local man Noel O'Gorman, who did this lovely job on the grave, cleaning the stone and putting on the plaque, which will be unveiled in a few moments. And I would like to just say a little about him. He was drafted he was in USA, he was working in New Jersey, in the town of Bayonne in New Jersey. And he was drafted into the US Army in New York City on August the 4th, 1917. Sent overseas on October the 29th, 1917. And he served in the 42nd Rainbow Division of the United States Army. This division was very famous and included the famous Fighting 69, which was later named the 165th US Division. And now I will call on Sergeant Hocko to start the ceremony.
Good afternoon. I'm Ron Hocko. I'm with the American Legion here in Ireland. And on behalf of all my fellow Legionnaires, we have Liam Kane here from the Dublin JFK 63 post. And we had members of the Father Francis Duffy members from Killarney coming over today, but they're burying a World War II veteran today, so they won't be with us. The American Legion is a fraternal U.S. military veteran organization that was formed in Paris, France in March in 1919, just after the end of the First World War. The American Legion is kind of like a union to where it fights for the rights and benefits of every qualified U.S. military veteran. And through the blood, sweat, and tears of veterans like Private Holmes, we have a manual today about that thick with all the rights and benefits. And we're here today to exercise some of those rights. If possible, at least one member of the Honor Guard should be of the same military service as the deceased veteran was. And I'm proud to say that there are two of us U.S. Army present today for duty, and we're proudly standing next to the United States Air Force. The family of the veteran get to choose either an upright marble or a flat bronze grave marker like we will unveil today. And these grave markers at great expense are produced, engraved, and shipped from Oregon in the northwest section of America. And they can be sent anywhere in the world to a qualified veteran. And we will unveil the flat bronze. The President of the United States sends, on the family request, what's called the Presidential Memorial Certificate. And this is a certificate signed by the current president, and it's presented to family members. And I'm sure if some of the others wanted to get, you could ask Peggy, and we'll show you this certificate. We will also have our bugler play that moving song called The Last Call, or Taps. When I was growing up in Flint, Michigan, I was surrounded by Irish immigrants. And history has shown us that not only did the Irish build my America, and they built it strong, but the Irish have honorably defended America for well over 230 years. And along the way, too numerous to count, some of them have given the ultimate sacrifice, like Private Michael Holmes did. If you look out today at these handsome, aging war heroes that are wearing either the American Legion cap or Mike wearing his Air Force cap, these Irishmen were in the American forces during a time of need, during a time of war, and for that I salute the Irish. So we would like to start our ceremony today, and we will start with folding the flag. Honor guard, attention, fold the flag. To all the Holmes family, on behalf of the people of a grateful nation in America, we present this flag as a token of our appreciation for all the honorable and dedicated service that Private Holmes gave to his adopted country. May he continue to rest in peace. Peggy, would you unveil the grave marker for us?
In memory of Michael K. Holmes, Private 165th Infantry Regiment, 42nd Division, World War I. September the 10th, 1982, to his death in France, October the 27th, 1918. Purple Hat.
And now we have the certificate presented by the American government. The United States of America honours the memory of Michael K. Holmes. This certificate is awarded by a grateful nation in recognition of the devoted and selfless consideration to the service of our country in the named forces of the United States. Signed, Barack Obama, President.
James.
Picture.
Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit.
Beginning is
May their souls and all the souls of the faithful departed.
Have you ever considered, maybe some of you have immigrated, this is the 13th ceremony that our Legion post has done in less than 3 years. 12 of them were up in County Mayo. This is my first time ever down here in Kilkenny. Peggy requested us after seeing this on Nationwide. But I was thinking about, I'm married to an Irish woman, she's from Kerry, and I live up in County Mayo. But I was thinking about what it's like for an Irish person to immigrate to America. You know, we've all carried a suitcase, but can you imagine picking up a suitcase and having your life possessions in it? We did a ceremony about a month ago up in Knock in County Mayo, and I was talking to the family about this, what was it like? And there were 4 of his children, and of the 13 ceremonies, that's the only ceremony that we have done to where there was actually any family members still alive. The youngest lady, her name was Peggy, she was 74 years old, and the 4 children were there, you know, for their ceremony. But how did they scrape enough money together, or just to have to carry a suitcase? And when you're leaving the country, you know, in the early 1900s, you know, there wasn't a lot of transportation. How did he get enough money carrying that suitcase? Pat Gorman has done a great study on these veterans that we have buried. Most of them went to Dublin. You know, the largest group of people they ever saw in their life daily was probably at a Sunday Mass. All of a sudden they're in Dublin, thousands of people. On a ferry, probably the biggest object they ever saw. Most of them went to Liverpool, England, immigrated and went through Ellis Island. Now, between 1900 and 1906, over 5 million European immigrants signed in through Ellis Island. So when they got there, there wasn't enough proper housing, there weren't enough good paying jobs. It's probably why the U.S. military was such a good employer at the time. And even today, what is immigration all about? Army or military recruiters have an old saying, 3 hots and a cot. If you join the military, we will give you 3 hot meals a day, a bed to sleep in, but most of all, a steady paycheck. And that's what the immigration was all about. Earn money to send back to the families. I'd like to know how many American dollars, built these churches. I know up in Mayo, I'm in Swinford, they say that was the dollars from America that built that church. When a man signed in through Ellis Island, he was given a piece of paper that said, if you were called up during a time of war, you would accept this and you would go into the military. If you didn't, you got blacklisted, you were sent back to your country of origin at your own expense. And of those 12 men, we have found 2 of them were in America less than 6 months. And they were on a ship again. They got a quick glimpse of Ireland out the port side of their ship. They had, if they were lucky, they got 30 days of formal military training. They got off in France, and if they were lucky again, they got another 30 days of training. And they were put right into the, into the fight. And you've seen enough movies in the history and all of that. So I guess I get emotional on it, just thinking what other people would do for another person's country. I think that says a lot about the Irish. Over 230 years that you've defended America. A quick history. In Ireland, there are 263 men that have received the Medal of Honor. The Medal of Honor is the highest medal that you can obtain in the U.S. military services. And there are 13 men that have received 2 Medals of Honor, and 6 of them were Irish. And to date, there's 33 other countries that have fought alongside the American forces. And of those 33, Ireland has more Medals of Honor than the other 32 countries combined. So I think it really says a lot about the Irish. And I'd love to thank Kevin for being part of our Guard of Honor. Normally, the American Legion are the only ones that perform our ceremony. And I'd like to thank Mick Coyne and his wife, Libby. They drove over from Wicklow today, and they got held up on the traffic. So thank you, Mick, for coming over. Thank you all for coming. We are now going to finish our ceremony with our bugler playing the last call or taps. You follow your bugler? Thank you very much. Hello.
They're all mock news for each other. I know, I sent the areas.